It is always important to know what it is you do and why you do it. And so I'm wondering if students in this room can help me understand what are some expectations of students on a day-to-day basis. What is demanded of you to be students in school? Anybody have any ideas?
Yes.
Isn't?
To follow the rules.
Okay, so following rules, good. What else is expected of a student? David?
Paying attention in class.
Paying attention in class. Henry?
So learn.
Learning. Aslan?
Don't be disrespectful.
Okay, not being
Be
disrespectful.
respectful.
David?
Do your work to the best of your ability.
Doing work. Morris?
Be safe.
Being safe. Okay, so we do homework, we pay attention, we study, right? These are the standard expectations of any student in any given institution. Can anybody tell me why it is we do these expectations? Why do I go through the grind of being a student? What's the point? Ray.
Otherwise, you can't consider important.
Okay, so good thought. It could be that there are these external forces from adults, right, that coerce me into doing some of these
If you're a good
ideas.
student, then it shapes your future in every way. Because if you're a horrible student, you want to get to high school, then you want to go to college, and you want to get a good job.
Okay, so I love what you just said.
That's fine.
Henry, you want to expand on that thought?
I was gonna say what you
You
do
can
as
do
a
good in high
child
school, but-
affects how you live your life when you're an adult. Because the choices that you make when you're younger, they create more open choices for you. And when you choose that choice, that choice can arm.
So this is a very normal progression that I would like to run through with everybody here of what a student would typically think, right? We want to do well, we want to study and do and homework and participate. Why do we do it? Because we want to get into a good high school, because a good high school may reflect and trigger my ability to get into a good college, which then may affect my ability to get a good paying job, right? And so it has all of these ramifications of how successful I can be later on in life. Good thoughts, right? Raymond mentioned before, adults potentially advise us or force us into following expectations. We want to get into a good high school, all good thoughts. Boys, I have a problem. We have a problem. Because we spoke about the differences between average and special last week. And one of the ideas is that a truly special person is always in control of their life, who they are and how they operate. And very rarely do they rely on the external forces of others to influence what it is that they do. And so boys, we have a problem, because what happens if I don't have an adult to influence my decision making? Right? Could be when you get home, your parents are the ones asking you and prompting you, did you do your homework? Did you study? Your teachers are on top of you. These deans of students, these crazy people that are sentenced in the world are forcing you to do things that you don't want to do. But what happens if you don't have these adults around you? Do you still do what a student should do? What happens if you don't get into the high school of your choice, or to the college of your choice, or to the well-paying job that you've been dreaming about getting your whole life? What happens then if it doesn't work out the way you anticipated? Do we just pull the plug? Do we quit on life and say, life is hopeless, there is no point or reason to do what it is that I thought I should do? And I'll take it one step further. What happens if you do get into the high school of your choice, or the college, or the job? That's it? You've made it? There is no reason to grow, and to work hard, and to challenge, and to put in good hard work? That's it? You did what you needed to do, and you're done? So boys, we're recognizing a deficiency, because up until now, the thoughts that help me understand why it is I do what I do are not foolproof. And at some point they have an expiration date. And that doesn't sit well with a truly special person. So in order to help us understand this whole idea, about how to move forward, I want to talk about speaker and motivational speaker and author Stephen Covey. He came out with a book called The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And in the book, he takes the reader through an exercise that I would like to explore with everybody in this room. He tells everybody, and please don't be afraid of this exercise, it does have a purpose, it is not morbid. He tells everybody, I want you to envision your own funeral. People are speaking about you. People are sharing thoughts and ideas about the life you lived. What are they saying?
What do you want to be remembered?
What do you want to be remembered by? So I'd like to ask the class now, what are some ideas, what are thoughts about what it is that you would like to be remembered by? Marco.
A good person.
That you were a good person.
What does that mean?
Henry.
Father.
You were a good father.
Just an all-around guy, you know.
All around guy. Ezzy.
Maybe I was respected and I was fun to be around.
Respected,
I already like that.
fun. So boys, I want to just acknowledge that the ideas that you threw out were not the same ideas that you spoke about why it is that you do well in school. Nobody in this room said at their funeral they want to be recognized by the fact that they got into a good high school. Nobody in this room said that they want people to know that they had a well-paying job. None of you said that. What did you say? You spoke about something else. You spoke about a guideline. You spoke about a book, a code that all special people truly live their lives by. You spoke about something called values. Boys, there are 2 different ideas that will dictate how people live their lives. An average Joe chases the short term. They look at the carrot sticking out in front of them and they say, I want that. And at this very moment in your life, that carrot in front of you is high school. And so every decision you make is predicated on this idea that I need to get into a good high school, which is a good, normal, average Joe type of thought. But who in this room is going to step outside of normalcy, of averageness, and is going to go beyond that level to specialty status, and is going to say to themselves, my life is going to be lived by a set of values. I'm going to be respectful. I'm going to be caring. I'm going to be empathetic. I'm going to be brave. I'm going to be honest. These are the things that when people remember my life by, that is what I want them to remember me by, because that is what causes us to do what we do. And do you want to know the most ironic and crazy thing about it? See, we do things not because it gets us things, but because it's the right thing to do. That is what causes us to wake up in the morning and do what it is that we do. It is simply the right thing. You want to know the crazy thought? Doing the right thing most likely maximizes your chances to get what it is that you wanted to begin with. But you see, if you only focus on the what, if you only focus on what it is that externally is causing you to be influenced, it compromises your values. Because when I only focused about getting into high school, you know what? It makes sense to cheat on my test. And it makes sense to not do my work once I already got into high school, because that was the end-all be-all of my very essence of the goal. And so who in this room is going to live a life of average Joe? Where it makes sense to cheat, it makes sense to just get into high school and then call it a day. Does that work for you? And if it does, okay. But who in this room wants to live a life more than that? Who in this room is going to say to themselves, I have values that guide my life. I know who I am. I know what causes me to make the decisions I make. Every single day, you have the ability to make certain choices, to study, to work hard, to be honest, to do your work. Every single day, you have a choice. What will you choose? Why do you do what you do? Shabbat shalom.
The bad